So here we go. These guys slide open. Now, another thing that I would like for you guys to have that I don't have myself is a protection for the mat. Even though these guys offer you the protection for the anti-static, you're still going to have something that's going to protect the casing itself. Because if you drag this guy around, and I've seen this happen before, where people put it down, and then they'll slide it back and forth. That's not good for the casing. Now, obviously, if you don't care for the casing, and I don't know if you guys are going to be professionals or not, but I would like for you guys to be professionals and don't do that. If you're going to be not using a cloth or something else to be underneath, make sure that you guys don't drag this guy back and forth, okay? If you're going to have to turn it, pick it up and turn it, okay? So again, the first thing is, remember what I told you guys, the orientation of those pins, right? So we're going to have one here, and then we're going to have one here and one here. So the idea is to go in here, snap the first one off, and then go over here and do the same thing with these others.
Just expecting to hear you say, uh-oh.
You're right. Ta-da! There you go.
Ta-da!
Okay, so obviously this one has no connections to it, so you're not going to have anything that is going to prevent you from removing it completely again. So again, here's the 3 screws that hold that plate, that plastic plate on there. And this is going to act as a barrier, obviously, and also breathing for the system itself. So again, the next thing is to take these guys off. Yep. Thank you for being in my video. All right, so again, you guys will be using the Torx. This one's going to be, which one is it? Should be the 6, I believe.
You said it was T6.
Yeah. Now, it'd be a good idea for you guys to have some kind of container where you can place these screws in a particular area or way. That way you don't have them mixed up and put the wrong screws in the wrong place, okay? So for me right now, I'm going to disregard what I just said and put them together since I already know where these guys go, okay? Yes, you will be. I said you, not me. All right, so again, I'm ready to take off this cover here. Don't yank it. Make sure that you guys are aware that there's a cable. And if you guys notice here, this is the cable. I don't know if you guys can see it from back there or not. All right, so again, the cable is going to go and screw down a key right here. It helps, obviously, that they have a magnetic screwdriver for this particular part because, again, these screws are very, very small. And if you don't have something like that, it can fall in there, you might lose it. All right, so now, again, I just took off this screw right here. Now, this guy goes and connects over to our wireless card. So we're going to need to take at least one out. Okay, so you're going to use this kind of a tool to remove that particular connection. All right, back to the same thing that we had mentioned before. You don't want to use a metal screwdriver or things like that. You always want to use a plastic to protect it. So again, you go underneath it, yank it up, done. So put that guy aside. Now what's next? The fan. So again, the fan has 3 screws in this case. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go ahead and remove those guys. The ones in the back will have a little rubber garment, if you will, for obvious reasons. You want to have it to where it can vibrate a little bit and not break or anything else. So make sure that those go back on the right place, back to the front area there. Again, when you remove this guy, make sure you don't just yank it out. Make sure you remove the cable to it also. So here's the cable that I was telling you about. Let me see if I can show it a little bit closer on the camera here. This guy right here. So again, that comes straight out. So again, same kind of principle. You use your tool to go ahead and remove that. Put this underneath, push it up, and off it comes. Now I like leaving the screws in there just to make sure that they don't get mixed up with something else. Beginners and stuff like that, you want to make sure that that you keep everything organized. Okay, so I'll go ahead and leave the screws on there. Now at the same time, they're on there, so if I put them somewhere where it's going to be hitting those screws, they might fall out, and you might be looking for them for a while there. So make sure that that you put them down somewhere where you're not going to be tripping over them or hitting them or things like that. Okay. So done. Now again, before I take out the motherboard, I want to make sure that I take off my connections to the hard drive, the power here, and the data connector right here. Here is my power supply connector. Okay. So let me go ahead and take this guy off first. So this comes with a little plate. Here's the little plate. You guys can see it or not. It's got a little contour to it where it allows the flat part, if you will, or the screw area, be able to snugly place the other part where that holds the cable down perfectly fine, or in a way that it won't allow you to have it come off. Again, same thing here. These guys are going to be pressured down, so we want to go ahead and get our tool, push up, and done. Okay. Again, same thing with this other one over here. That's going to be a little bit more difficult since we got other things around it. So with that there, I like to use the pick. You guys can see that or not. And go underneath it and lift it up. Again, make sure that you don't wiggle it too much, because you might break those little guides that are there. Okay, so there, this guy's off, done. Now, if you can, I don't think you can, but if you can use you can remove the power connector from the motherboard also. I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to go ahead and remove the motherboard first a little bit, and then I'll take out the connector. So again, the idea is to use that tool that we're talking about, place it onto these little holes here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe these guys right here. So you would use that to pull off or pull out the motherboard. Now, there is another screw yet, so make sure that you don't try yanking it off just yet. This screw right here goes all the way down from the motherboard into the chassis, so make sure that you guys take that off. Okay? So it's a pretty long one there. All right, so now I'm ready. Now again, it's going to be a little bit tough to get this guy off without that tool. So either A, you have it, or B, you're going to kind of like play a little bit around with it to make sure that that evenly comes out. Yeah, please. You want to pass me that? Thank you very much. Awesome. So again, this guy fits right in here. Perfect. Then you yank it out. Remember that the front where the ports are is going to also come off, so make sure that you don't put your hands in there trying to push it forward, because it's never going to come out. So there you go. See ya, papitas. Again, if you didn't have that tool, I can guarantee you're going to have a little bit of issues, and you're going to be thinking that there's something else connected. You're not going to be able to remove it. That's not the case. It's just that there's like 4 clips on there that makes it a little bit difficult for you to remove that. So if you put this tool in the middle there, it makes a world of a difference. So again, once we've done that, now you're able to get into the connector again. This one just goes straight in, so you can go ahead and grab most of the cable and yank it out, pull it out. And there's your power supply connector. So again, nothing else needs to be taken off from the motherboard. You've got your wireless. You've got your heat sink for your motherboard. I mean, for your CPU. You've got your sound card over here, or your little speaker. Nothing else needs to be coming off. Okay. Yeah. Done. How's that? Easy. All right. So here we've got the 2 screws that we were talking about for the hard drive. One right here and another over here. This one also again ties to the power supply. So once I remove that guy, I'm able to remove the power supply. Now again, remember that latch that I was telling you about. So again, making sure that you don't mix the screws that you have and where they go. For this one over here, it's going to be kind of like a little out of the way. So in that particular one, I like to use the, I think I saw some of you that with the tools here that had the flexible rubber adapter to it. This is going to help you out. Okay. At the same time, when you're using this tool, make sure that you're pushing down on the head here. Okay. So when you're twisting it, that there's pressure enough to be able to remove that screw. Okay. There you go. So now again, the power supply. So again, here we have this guide. We have this pin that holds the connector for the power supply from it being removed. So again, you grab that guy with your finger here, slide it out, and out it goes. Okay? You guys can see that, hopefully. One way to put it back in. So again, now that you got that, you can twist this guy. Let me see if I can give it a better picture. Twist this guy clockwise, I'm sorry, counterclockwise. And then yank it out. Carefully. There's your power supply. Now you've got your hard drive exposed and ready to be taken off. And there's your hard drive on the back side. Again, we're going to have to remove the hard drive by removing the side screws. I'm sure that most of you have done this, where you guys will remove the 4 sides for the bay, let's say, and remove that guy. Questions, comments? Papitas.